loud and I'm going to mute you guys. So welcome to the people just joining us. It's a day after a very special day. So let's come to seated. And I feel like sitting on a block today. So whatever, or a pillow if you like, just sort of whatever helps get your hips open is great. And then sitting up nice and tall. And if you're always putting the same foot in front, switch which legs in front. Good. So being nice and tall in your spine. Let's do some shoulder rolls. So one shoulder and then the other. Just waking up the upper back. And as your shoulder comes down, feel like you're kind of like dipping it down. So imagine kind of a side view of your body, and you want to see the shoulder making a big circle. Trying to make as big a circle as you can. And allowing your body to twist with it. Maybe looking from side to side as you go. As long as this feels okay. And then switching directions the other way. So now you're rolling in the other direction, just seeing what's going on with your back and shoulders. Good, wonderful. Now let's inhale, opening up our chest. Exhale, stretching out the back body. Connecting with your breath. Good, wonderful. Now let's change it so you're bending in your elbows and then you're reaching up. Exhale, pulling in those elbows, feeling the muscles in your back really waking up as you squeeze in those elbows. Time. Good, wonderful. Letting your arms just shake out, your wrists shaking out. And let's do a big inhale to reach up. Palms coming together, exhaling to heart center. Good. Now letting the back of your neck feel really long, maybe tucking in your chin. And then maybe closing your eyes or gazing at the floor. And we're going to connect with our breath. So nice long inhale, feeling energy coming up the base of your spine all the way to the top of your head. Then on the exhale, feeling your shoulders relax, maybe your hands pressing into each other, maybe your stomach muscles pulling in. So on the inhale, you feel a growth upwards, and on the exhale, feel like a really strong kind of centering your core, pulling in. Maybe even on the exhale, feeling your pelvic floor rising up. So it's like everything is just coming in towards the belly button. Bringing your focus to that exhale, and just even as we're sitting here, starting to get hot just from the effort of strongly pulling in the stomach, pulling up the pelvic floor. Good, wonderful. Let's come on to our hands and knees, just to loosen up the spine with some cow and cat. So inhale to arch your back, exhale, rounding your back and really pulling in those stomach muscles. We want to really wake up the core. So with your own breath, just try and make the breath deep and long. So we're putting our brain in our stomach, so to speak. Good, wonderful. So now we're going to change the pattern that we're looking over one shoulder, letting the opposite hip go to the side. Inhale through center and then doing the other side. So there's not really a core component to this, just trying to stretch out the outside of the hip, the outside of the side of the body. Good, wonderful. Now we're going to change it. So on the exhale, you're letting one elbow drop down and looking one way, inhaling through center, letting the other shoulder drop down. So you're getting a twisty feeling in your spine. And just because it's nice to get the hips ready, let's just do a short child's pose. So letting your knees come apart, your feet coming together. Let's just sink down into a child's pose, maybe getting support where you need and just feeling those hips opening up, everything relaxing downward, breathing deep. Wonderful. Slowly coming back up. And we're just going to wake up the backs of our legs for future use. So stretching out one leg and just sort of rocking back and forth on your toes so that you're getting a stretch down the back of your leg and through your calves. And getting kind of some nice toe movement. So let's inhale as we come forward, exhale as you press back so you get your heel sort of reaching away. And let's just have on the exhale that feeling of engaging the core, pulling in those stomach muscles. Good, wonderful. Let's do the other leg, please. So just waking up the hamstrings, feeling the back of the calf, lengthening out. The exhale, feeling your stomach muscles pulling in. Wonderful. Bringing your legs back together. Let's come back to that first leg, stretching it out. Really strong stomach muscles. Maybe you're staying here with your foot flexed. Maybe you're taking the opposite arm and reaching it forward, palm facing in. So just deciding what you want to do. But on each exhale, really feel your stomach muscles powerfully pulling in. Good. Wonderful. Putting your hand back down if it's up, and just let's do a few on the exhales, like you're trying to kick your tuchus. Then inhale, stretching out the leg. So exhale, bending your knee with your heels reaching in. Inhale, reaching out. So on the exhale, you're feeling a contraction in your hamstring. And then on the inhale, you're just lengthening everything out for a nice stretch with flexed foot. Good. Wonderful. Now let's switch legs. So the other leg, stretching out, foot flex. Strong core on each exhale, maybe lengthening out the opposite arm. So your core has to keep you steady. So breathing deep, putting your brain in your stomach muscles. Putting that hand back down if it's been up. And now on the exhale, we're going to try and bend in that knee. And inhale, lengthening out the leg. So we're getting our hamstring contracting and then lengthening. Good. Wonderful. Let's finish up that, putting the knee down. And let's just do kind of sitting back and just stretching out our arms for a minute. Just doing whatever feels like a relief for a moment or two. Getting off our wrists. Good. Wonderful. And then let's come back up onto our hands and knees. We're going to round our toes so that they're on the floor. And let's just press into our toes a little bit. One side and then the other. Just kind of getting our toes warmed up, getting them bendy. Feeling that stretch on the bottom of our feet. And then let's just take a moment to have our toes kind of scrunch inward. So we're kind of trying to just get our toes to scrunch, like you're trying to grab something with your toes. Just doing stuff with your toes that you never do. Maybe trying to play the piano with your toes. Maybe trying to spread out your toes. Just kind of trying to do the opposite of what it feels like to wear shoes. Good. And now let's make our way into downward dog. Please, your version. Maybe you want to start with your knees bent and bicycling out your legs. Stretching out those hamstrings. When you're ready, let's try and stretch out both legs if that feels okay. Pressing your hips back. Nice big inhale, just let things like go on the exhale, like kind of like a horse going. Walking your feet up towards your hands. Both coming into a forward fold, shaking out your arms, shaking out your wrists, shaking out your shoulders and your head. Just letting your upper body be floppy. And then slowly rolling up your spine, coming to standing. Good. When you get up to standing, let's inhale, reaching our arms overhead and letting your hips kind of come forward. So you're kind of stretching out the front of your body. Good. Nice big inhale, then exhale, letting your arms come back down. Wonderful. Inhale, reaching overhead, grasping your hands. Exhale, bending one way, getting a nice side stretch. Inhale through center, exhale the other way. So just with your own breath, your inhale through center, exhale, getting that big, long stretch. Good, wonderful. Let's have our arms slowly come down on either side, and we're just going to come into a lunge for a moment or two. Just, stretch out our quads. So one leg heading back, the other knee forward and bent. Sorry, the view isn't perfect. So that back leg, your foot can be flat on the floor, out to the side a little bit, whatever's feeling comfy for your knees. I want you to feel a good stretch through your quad, up through your hip flexor. Strong core, and if it feels okay for your shoulders, inhale, reaching your arms up. Let's just feel on the exhale again, the stomach muscles pulling in. Good, so feeling your feet really pressing into the floor, and let's see how it feels to tip a little bit to the side, and then coming back up nice and tall. Trying to keep your balance. Let's try tipping a bit the other way. Coming up, back, tall. Good. Now let's try and do a bit of a tip your chest up towards the ceiling. So you're feeling a big stretch through your front body. And then coming back normal. Oh, and let's let the arms come down. Bending the back leg and bringing everything together. Let's do some hip circles just to kind of unwind from that. Breathing deep. Back around the other way. Good. Let's put the other leg back into a lunge. Just going with the lunge that's going to feel good for your ankles and your knees. Nice strong core, pressing both feet into the floor. Inhale, reaching your arms up. Just hanging out here a moment or two on each exhale, feeling your stomach muscles really pulling in, your feet really pushing into the floor so you're super stable. And when you're ready, try inhaling and tilting your upper body a little bit. And then exhale, bringing everything back up tall. Inhale, try tipping the other way. Exhale, coming back up tall. Then inhale, tipping your chest up towards the ceiling. Exhale, coming back up tall. Oh, and letting the arms come down on either side. Bending that back leg, popping your legs together. Good. So just letting your hips go however they like. We're going to be doing chair soon. So just getting your body kind of mentally prepared for chair, moving around in whatever way your body just kind of wants you to. Good. So now having your feet more or less under your hips, we're going to take a nice big inhale, and then on the exhale, if it feels good, having your arms come forward as you sit back on your imaginary chair. And then inhale, coming back up tall. So as you come back on your exhale, feeling your core engaging, making sure your hips are going back so that you're not having your knees get hurt. What we want to avoid is this, where you're bending straight down and your knees are shooting forward. So getting into your own breathing pattern. Nice strong core as you sit back. Maybe even try as you're sitting back and engaging your core, try also to feel your pelvic floor pulling up if you can. Good, keep going. Good. Keep going with your breath. Wonderful. Now let's stay deep in it, bringing our hands to heart center. And just really focusing on the core and the pelvic floor. On your inhale, feeling your belly expanding, and then on the exhale, pulling everything in. Keeping that spine long, shoulders relaxed. Man, oh man. Let's try adding. On the exhale, try and twist a little bit one way, keeping your legs square. Good. Inhale back through center. Exhale, try and twist the other way. Wonderful. Inhale back through center. And on your next inhale, let's come out of this, reaching our arms overhead. And then let's do just some kind of stirring with our hips. That's what I feel like doing. Just kind of feel like you're just kind of like a hula hoop type feeling. Your arms can be however they want. And then back around the other way. Good, wonderful. Let's let our arms just come down on either side. Let's start taking our weight side to side for a balance. Getting those stomach muscles strong again. And then coming onto whichever side you feel like. Getting your foot up on your calf, maybe. I'm going to try up on my leg, see what that does. Oh. Pressing your supporting leg into your foot. And then seeing what you want to do with your arms. Maybe you feel like heart center, and on each exhale, feel your hands pressing in, with your core pressing in. This is a very determined type pose. Maybe you feel a bit more watery today and want to have your arms overhead and try and throw yourself off balance. Just going with what you feel like. Just getting back on the horse. Wonderful. And let's just have a little break, letting your arms swing, just letting your body do what it wants. So I see someone twisting. Let's do that. Good. And when you're ready, shifting your weight to the other side, strong core, bringing your leg up. Try and do whatever you did on the first side with your leg. And then seeing what your body feels like in terms of your arms. Maybe on each exhale, you're pressing your hands together, core pulling in. Maybe you want those arms moving around. Sort of try to throw yourself off balance a bit. Whatever you're doing, breathing deep, feeling those core muscles engaged. Good. Getting back on the horse as need be. Good. Wonderful. And then shaking everything out. Let's come into your warrior two when you get around to it. On each exhale, really feel that deepening. Shoulder doesn't like this. So I'm going to just let the shoulder go down. So feeling that deepening, that pressing down into the floor, that grounding. Nice, strong core. Now, if it feels good to you, flipping your front palm or reaching that arm up Coming into your sun warrior, feeling that front sort of underarm up into your tricep area, getting stretched out. Each exhale, feel that kind of rooting downward. Maybe looking up at your hand. Good. Strong core. We're going to tip forward and have our back arm extend overhead, pressing into that back foot. Your underneath arm, you can put your elbow on your knee or reach down. Maybe you can even reach the floor. All the power to you. Really lively legs pressing into the floor. And on the next inhale, we're going to tip back out of that, having our feet come forward, walking our feet together. I feel like doing some more hip circles, so do what feels good before we get into the other side. Speaking of which, let's make our way into the other side. So yeah, the shoulder doesn't want to go up. So we're just going to come into your version of warrior two. On each exhale, feel your legs really pressing downwards. So you're powerfully rooted. The core, of course, is pulling in on each exhale. And when you're feeling rooted, flipping your front palm, inhale to reach up. Feeling that big stretch through the front body. Good. When you're ready, we're going to tip that arm forward. Have the other arm reaching overhead. Getting a big stretch now in the back body, pressing that back leg into the floor. Good, wonderful. Inhale, reaching that arm back up, having your feet coming point forward. Oh, let's make our way down onto the floor. Okay, so getting down there however you like. And let's meet on our back doing some windshield wipers, please. So arms flopped open, letting your knees flop to each side on the exhale, just letting things relax, forgetting about the core, just letting everything be kind of like Jello, having a little break. Good, wonderful. Now let's stretch out our hamstrings for a moment. So one knee's bent, the other leg is reaching up towards the ceiling, flexing that foot, just pulling that leg in. So the back of your legs getting a nice stretch. Maybe if you like doing some ankle circles, so your calf and foot are getting a nice stretch. Good, and then back around the other way. Good, wonderful. Now switching legs, stretching that leg, trying to really get that back of the leg stretched, flexing your foot. And then some ankle circles. So as your foot's kind of stirring around in a circle, feel how that goes into your calf. Switching directions. Good, wonderful. Putting that foot back down, hands alongside your hips. Let's press up into a bridge, just so now we're getting the fronts of our thighs, our quads are getting stretched out, our hip flexors. Powerfully pressing your heels into the floor, engaging your glutes. Breathing deep. Good, When you're ready, lowering back down, hugging in your knees. And let's let our body just kind of roll from side to side, feeling the back body getting just kind of massaged into the floor nicely. Good. And then when you're ready, we're going to extend out both legs with your feet flexed, arms reaching up towards the ceiling with your palms flexed. So sort of like upside down, downward dog. Okay. Maybe tucking your chin a little bit just so you get a nice stretch in the back of your neck. So your hands are reaching up towards the ceiling, but I don't want your shoulders coming off the floor. Try to keep your shoulders on the floor, kind of like your shoulder blades in their pockets. Good. One more nice inhale, then exhale, hugging in those knees again. Lengthening out one leg, keeping the other knee tucked in. Let's do some lovely hip circles with that knee. So if it feels okay for your back, one leg is stretched out. The other leg is bent in for some hip circles outward. And then switching directions, going the other way. Good, wonderful. So let's do a full body stretch. Inhale and you get everything really long. Arms overhead, legs reached out, wiggling your toes, wiggling your fingers. Another nice big inhale, and as you exhale, let's hug in our knees again. Now we're going to lengthen out the leg that we haven't lengthened out yet. And the curled in knee, taking in a hip circle, going outward to start. And then switching directions to have your leg circling inward. Good. Another big, long, full body stretch, letting your back arch. Just feeling a big, long line of human lengthening out on the floor. Big inhale, and then as you exhale, hugging in your knees, pressing out your breath. Now we're going to do, I think it's called dead bug. You know what? The one where your knees are bent and in the air, your arms are reaching up to the ceiling, palms facing in. So just checking in to make sure your weight is on kind of your hips or your pelvis and your shoulder area, and that your lower back isn't getting squished into the floor. So there should be no pressure going down onto your lower back, okay? So on each exhale, feeling the stomach muscle pulling in, and then like your back body kind of pulling in towards your stomach. But absolutely no pressing and squishing your lower back into the floor. So on your inhale, same side, leg and arm, reach down. Let's have the other arm reach up. Then exhale, bringing everything back to center, and then doing the other side. Strong core, making it all happen. Inhale to lengthen things out. Exhale, pulling everything in. And moving your arms as much as your shoulders want you to. And really feeling that big grr on the exhales. You're pulling everything in, but no squishing the lower back. Just a few more. Good. Letting your feet come down to the floor, bottoms of your feet together, letting your knees fall open on either side, arms flopping open, palms towards the ceiling. Maybe kind of, I don't know, shaking out your legs a little bit in terms of kind of rocking your hips a little bit if that feels okay. And then just letting everything relax, opening up. We're in the kind of gentle zone now. So nice big inhales, letting things expand, and then just letting things relax on the exhale. No more exertion. Good. Slowly, maybe using your hands to help, bringing your knees back together, just a few windshield wipers. And when you're ready, scooching your hips one way to let your knees fall the other way, coming into a lovely twist. And having your legs and arms, however, supports a nice twisty feeling in your mid body. Breathing deep. Slowly bringing everything back through center, doing something to kind of untwist your spine. And then when you're ready, kind of shooshing your hips one way to let your knees fall the other. Arms nice and wide and melty. Making your way back through center. And just do whatever your body wants you to do before coming into Shavasana. So just letting your body go on automatic pilot for a moment or two. And then when you're ready, lengthening everything out in your Shavasana. And really noticing your breath once you're there. So feeling a lightness through your whole body, kind of a drifting upwards, an expansion. And on the exhale, really feeling supported by what's under you, feeling like you can just melt into it and be held. If you have the time in your day, please keep shavasana, keep playing, listening to your body, feeling your breath. If you need to move on with your day, starting to wake up your body, stretching out and moving as you like. Rolling onto your side and resting there, but only if you feel like it. Coming up to seated with your hands at heart center, just gently pressing your thumbs into your chest, your shoulders relaxed. So we're just going to connect to our breath again. On each inhale, feel a growth. And on each exhale, feel a settling downwards. Namaste. Hooray. I'm going to stop the video. Stop.